Hi friends, welcome back to yet another session to Thinking and Destiny. As usual, before we go into the wisdom that is going to shared by Percival today, let us connect to his consciousness so that we can connect to his thoughts and to his wisdom and let the wisdom flow through me to every one of us. So please, all of you sit in a meditative posture. Please cross your legs, clasp your hands, and close your eyes. You can remove your eyewear as we do not need it now. Please observe your soft, natural, tranquil breath. Observe how breath is flowing through all the organs of the body and how we are releasing. As we learned in Psychic Destiny, the breath is most important form where we are taking vital energy into body. Percival is giving us a great knowledge how our physical destiny is forming and now currently going through how psychic destiny, how it influences from prenatal to after, and it goes on. Please place your hands on your eyes for a few seconds and open your eyes with a beautiful smile on your face, ready for the next session. Deepika Garu.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Prasanna. Namaste, friends. Welcome to another session of Thinking and Destiny, organized by PMC USA. Pranams to our beloved Guruji, Brahmashi Pitama Patriji and Swarnamala Patri ma'am. So in the last week, we started the new chapter after 2 weeks of revision. It was Psychic Destiny, the 6th chapter in the book. Here we learned different types of psychic destinies, the 2 types of psychic destiny and what do they mean. And again, the 6 classes of psychic destiny. The detailed summary has been given by Prasanna in the WhatsApp group. So if anybody is interested, you can look through that, the 6 classes. And also then the 3 things which are affected by psychic destiny: EIA, breath form, and the doer. And how do they work? We looked at all the things in the previous class. Today, let us continue with the same psychic destiny. Welcome, Prasanna, for today's topic. Please take over us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepika. Yeah, though it was, because it is almost, we are repeating again what we already learned in the last class as well, some of the concepts. So those who missed also, you can just, by listening, you will be able to understand. Because in the previous class, we have given a classification and now we are giving more into that. So we have seen like how and when this breath form is going in after when actually it is forming, that breath form is going into the doer, right? And then we will see the astral body. The astral body we will see, right? Usually we see that we say that we are the three different forms, and the astral body is also growing outside, because along with the physical body, the astral body is growing. It grows with the fetus. After as the birth is surrounding, astral body is also growing with the breath form. And this astral body, as we say, the physical body is made up of all the five panchabhutas, the five elements, and the astral body is kind of an plastic or electric or kind of thing where you can just move around kind of thing. So that body will also grow. It's a airy body, and that will go into the flesh of the body when actually it will be transmitted through the breath form to the flesh of through the flesh of the body. Whereas if you take that is why whenever you are in the sleep, we'll say the astral projection. So whenever you are in the sleep or whenever you are in that meditation, there are good chances when you are get the deep meditation. So you may leave your physical body, the astral body will leave, and it can go and it can acquire the knowledge, and it can acquire the energy around it. So that's how, and we all learn like many things, then it won't get missed or anything. Like once the astral body is out, oh, my body, I may get died, nothing like that, because as long as you are in that breath form, so the astral body and the physical body will be connected with the silver cord. So whenever the physical body is trying to move or got the sensation to move or anything, then the astral body will be back within nanoseconds. It will be back, and it will operate the physical body. So this astral body, so when the physical body is growing in the fetus, and astral body is growing in the astrally, and this will go to that physical body. When it is also grown, it will go to the physical body through breath form. Suppose the physical bodies can be destroyed, and the physical body can be shorted or anything, but the astral body, you cannot do anything. Even if you are shooting, or if you are doing anything, also astral body, the medium, right? It will be just like a sagi kind of thing, and it won't actually, and it won't. You cannot destroy the astral body separately. Okay, so it can bend, or if there is a wall, like suppose here is a wall. So when your astral body is out, you need not open the door to go out of the astral body. Astral body will passes through that door without passes through the wall without any issues, because there's that molecules to molecules, there is always a gap, right? So the astral bodies can pass through that kind of gap, whereas physical body cannot. Okay, so this astral body is the medium which furnishes the matter in which the materializing entities clothe themselves. So all these materializing entities, the astrally, the whatever this, so that enters and re-enters. So it's the medium. So astral body is the one which is actually fetching your energies whenever you are resting, or fetching energies when you are in the deep meditation kind of thing. So how these things will be affected, we are going to discuss in the further sections. So we stopped there in the last class, and then the further sessions we'll be discussing. Today I'll start with the topic with the form destiny, because we are having the two destinies, right? The form destiny and the psychic destiny, actual psychic destiny. The first one is the form destiny. Form destiny comes to the prenatal influences, how these prenatal influences and how these 6 classes that we have done, right? How these 6 classes of the psychic destiny will affect, that we will see first in the first part of our class. The first kind of psychic destiny is the form destiny. So form comprises of the prenatal influences which mold into the physical boundaries. So prenatal itself will have, so the doer's past desires, whatever it is, the past desires are there, that forms as a small atom, and that will start, because in the next life, that is the one which starts. So you may feel that mother's hereditary or something else, father's hereditary, these are just the merely the channels. If that particular if that particular point or that particular atom decides that the next life should be like this, then they will be choosing the family or the parents which suits to them, right? Whenever they are choosing to suit them, then you may feel that those qualities are coming from mother or a father, But only thing is, it is not that coming from mother or a father. So because of the qualities which you wanted to born, you choose that kind of parents. That's also, you merely think that it came from the mother or the father, but they are just the channels to give a shape or endowments of the newborn. They are not the complete. You are not getting from the completely from the mother or father. They are channels because you choose that kind of parents, and you may be herediting the same qualities, but this is already predestined and you wanted to have those qualities and those things. The second kind of psychic destiny is pure psychic destiny. It is not, the first one is like a form destiny, and second one is a psychic destiny where that the beliefs, endowments, conditions that you are working for your life, the formative influences, right? All these cognitive influences, cheerfulness or contentment, courage, modesty, frankness, and their opposites, whatever. So all these things comes into the actual psychic destiny. So these works under the doer's working life. So whatever that manifests after the birth, right? After the birth, this can be manifested. Even if there is something which are there already came, so you can still manifest. Suppose by birth, I just, in the previous birth, I thought something and I born with that, but you can still manifest that. Yeah, with the knowledge that you have, you can still manifest after the birth and you can change your qualities. It's nothing that you cannot change all these things. In a few instance, that is what there is always a conflict, right? What we can do. So we, in the thinking and destiny, we say that everything that you can determine, you can manifest and you can do it. But if you go to that, the first few chapters, according to the law or the karmic bondage, you may get all the things. So this seems to be conflicting, but it is not the conflict. The karmic bondages are the previous thinking things. You may be born, but the thing is, once you are born, it is again, you have that free will. 80% of the incidents that are happening is through your free will. When with that free will, you can always manifest the things that you want in this current life. So it is always that you need not get confused. So always in the manifestation sessions or in any other sessions, they'll say, you think, you will become. You are the creator of your own destiny. These people are saying, in coming to the karmic bondage, they are saying that, oh, so whatever the karma that we are having, whatever we did it in the last lives, that only is getting it. So these are the two seems to be the conflicting. But in the same way, those karmic bondage can be wiped off. Even if you take the ancient thing like so the Sri Krishna, whatever he told in Bhagavad Gita, Gnanena Karma Dagdanam, if you take that, or whatever that you are making your own destiny, both are same. So whenever you are doing, whenever you have that knowledge, you can able to wipe off those your karmic bondages and you can just recreate your life the way you want it. In a few instances, special features appears as a psychic destiny, as a mediumship or a premature development functioning of the form plane. Since the men are unable to govern their feelings and desires, it is well that they do not develop on these lines. Among the practices to force such a development and postures, breathing is a breathing in a certain way. So what here is, so in some of the mediumship, you may feel that they may appear that there some are formed in the previous and they are actually coming and they are going on in this particular lifetime as well, because if you are unable to govern your feeling and desire, because you know that, okay, people know that they, drinking certain kind of drinks is a wrong way. Okay, you know that it is not the right way, but when some party, whenever you are going or something is going, you are not able to control your feeling and desire. So even though you know that knowledge is there, whenever you cannot control, then you are doing that same. So in this particular case, whatever that form, that desire things, that only will happen. You cannot influence, even though you had that knowledge. So you know that you cannot harm any creatures in this world, but still if you cannot control over it, you may harm and you may again do it. So that in that case, your things, whatever the form destiny has formed, it will come. Your thinking, you are given a sufficient knowledge, but still you are unable to think, or you are unable to control that feeling and desire, or a body mind, you are unable to control. So the ability to diagnose and prescribe for the diseases, the acquisition of the personal magnetism and the power to heal is lying on on your hands, or the advantages may occur because of the psychic development. That is what again he is saying the same thing. So you have that advantages. You were given that particular knowledge, and you have that thing. Suppose all that healing was given in your hands itself, because with the knowledge you were given in your thing. Suppose if you cannot control that, then you may not able to escape these diseases. So there are some things, as long as you are not harming anyone or anything, so the no disease can touch you. That's what the you can see in some here are some of the books, right? So whenever you do not overcome that kind of feelings, those things may touch, and you have to take that result. So the natural growth that you have to take, you have to face it. So here he is also saying religions are also a psychic. This is also a psychic destiny. They affect your emotions. They satisfy your need of the suffering, and the doer and the demand of being saved. So let us say, suppose if you are suffering, if you say that with your thinking, with your determination, you can change. So that is a hard thing, right? Because you have to manifest the things. You have to do that. You have to stand on whatever you are thinking. Suppose instead of that, if some religion comes and because of your karma, you are doing all these things, you have to face it. If somebody says that, then it is, you feel that, okay, because of my karmic bondage, I'm just doing it, so I cannot get rid of it. I have to face that. So sometimes people feel it is easy to follow that religion, and because you are more than you are believing yourself, whatever the power you have within yourself, you are not believing that. You are just believing, going, because you are finding a way. You are finding something, so something to lean upon, something to depend on in the religion. So you may be doing that. In the same way, you may be seeing something like the trust or some emotional support also in the religion. So whenever you believe somebody, some God, your personal God, some of the things, so you will have that trust. Okay, let me do it. So the God will take it. That kind of the positive trust or positive things are also will be there. So this is all the psychic destiny, because how you believe it, this is also the part of the psychic destiny. Partial spirit is not merely the figure of speech, and it is the entity represents the feelings and desires of many united in one form. Suppose if you take the government, institutions, and the laws and politics, if you say, right, this is also the part of that, lastly, mostly the psychic destiny. But here, it is not a one spirit or a couple of spirits that because they are largely the same kind of people when they are together. So they form this kind of the destinies, and they can dictate this destiny for others as well. The spirits define the clinging to their special conservatism or prejudices. These spirits make an impression to the astral body of the embryo of one who belongs to them, so comes to the inborn predisposition of the against certain institutions. Here what they are saying, suppose if you have a strong desires, very strong impressions right now in this lifetime, you have a very strong impressions, so you wanted to become and you're not able to do it. You have some prejudice, you have something, the prejudice against somebody, or you have some it may be positive or negative, you have something against someone. So those qualities, what will happen if you cannot do in this life, what will happen is they make a very strong impressions on your astral body, not the physical body. The physical body is just the Panchabhutas. Once you leave, it is all going into the Panchabhutas and nothing is happening. So this whatever the strong impressions that you are clinging to the thing, right? It could be the prejudice, or it could be love on something, or whatever it is. So those things will have a strong impressions, and those strong impressions will be carried out through your astral body. When it is carrying out through the astral body, then it will become the part of that first cell, which, because at the end of the birth, you are also giving a seed for the next birth, right? So this will become, these strong impressions will be part of that particular one. So when it becomes the part of that one, whenever you are actually taking the next birth, when this astral body is expanding, this astral body is also, when it comes to the physical body in the embryo, so those qualities will come here. Those qualities will also come into this physical body. And when it will come, when you see such a person, the prejudice, when such a person is again in this earth plane, or such a particular thing, or is again you wanted to have it. So when that particular thing is again, so those things will flare up. So it is already built up within you, and those will start exteriorizing. When such, again, you can say the place, everything, all the three things were into the same thing, right? When come into the existence, that may come again into the exteriorization, that may come again into the reality. The 6 classes of the strictly the physical destiny are subjective states. So the first 3, if you take, right, these are as well as the mental and noetic destiny. So these will be in the mental and noetic destiny also. It will get affected as their interiorization and exteriorizations are getting affected. Suppose if you take the first class, the pleasure and pain which caused by the physical contact. So that you cannot avoid. Suppose if I put my hand in the fire, it will burn. Right, so that you cannot avoid. That's a physical destiny. So you can. It's a directly reward or a punishment. It's a direct thing. As a result, it's necessary. There are the second one is second part is, or this physical destiny maybe happened in the case of adjustment also, because you wanted to experience some of the things in this particular lifetime. So even though you are not think of it or anything, because you take that as a very strong thing, and those things you have to experience in this particular lifetime, so they will come as the adjustment also. So those will get exteriorized as intermediate results in the physical events, and which cannot be avoided. The second class is joy and sorrow without a physical contact is also unavoidable. So when some news comes, when a happy news comes, I got a lottery. So definitely I got $1 million lottery. If I get a news, then obviously I'll be happy. So that kind of thing. Or I got some sad news, then I'll be sad. So these are also unavoidable. The third class relates to the character of the human being. That is the one which you can build. It may comes to the previous thing, but that is the one which you can develop, you can change it. His disposition, endowments, sentiments, instincts, virtues, vices, etc. While making up the doer portion, the body is stamped rudimentary from the form of the AIA. The human can exercise a right choice whether he can submit or fight against this temperament. So you got some temperaments, you got some sentiments by the virtue, but the thing is you have some right. Even in that case, even the second one, right? The second one, the joy and sorrow, without the physical contact, also you have some right. They are unavoidable, but you have some right that you can stay composed, you can stay unaffected. Okay, you can stay unaffected because everything is happening. Whatever is happening for a reason. Then you can be unaffected. So that is what here. The third class is the human being is his disposition, endowments. So all these things, whatever the sentiments, whatever this your character building up, all these things can be changed in this lifetime. So these are these will come from the AIA, but the thing is AIA is rudimentary. That is again because AIA is again the point where if you reach there, you are going to go to the this intelligent side of it, right? So the human can exercise the right. Suppose if some bad thought come in my mind, let us take. You always have a choice whether to follow the thought or just oppose the thought and take the right direction, because you already have given a knowledge. Given a knowledge, or you yourself is having that knowledge whether to choose whether it's the right thought or a wrong thought. Okay, so when you have that knowledge, you can decide whether whatever the thought is it a lawful, whether we can do it or not. So you were given sufficient knowledge because you are all-knowing, omnipresent, omnipotent. You have that all those qualities. So within that you can judge. So whether you are going with the thought or whether you are opposing the thought is all depends on your personality. That is the opposing that is the character that you having. or the past life impressed upon AIA. So there is a past life thing which is there already in the AIA, and you can always come. Suppose I'll take an example. The previous life, the same soul, the previous lifetime, he or she died because of a water accident. So obviously, whenever it comes to, because it has a strong impressions at the last minute, last second, so that will have a strong impression on that particular cell, and through AIA also it got like and the same feelings came into the embryo, and then it came to now, even this now the life also you got it. But you always have the choice. Now in this lifetime you will always feel like, oh, I cannot swim, I cannot, you feel like fearful whenever you go to the water, because of the knowledge and because of that strong impressions that you have within you. So that is the thing that is already, they came from previous lifetime. But the thing is, you always have a choice. That's what he's saying. You always have a choice to change your fate, change your belief. So you, because of that accident, you just had made some strong thing, but now you can always change it. No, nothing will happen. So that happened in the past. Now nothing will happen. Even though whether you don't have the knowledge, if you had a strong, determined person, you can overcome that kind of thing. So now I just gave an example, but all other things also you can change. Psychic effects appear in some vices, such as drunkenness, gambling, and other psychicness, pessimism, malice, fear, despair. On the other hand, hopefulness. On the other hand, the positive side, hopefulness, joyousness, trust, ease. So all these qualities are coming from your psychic impression, right? So from that impression it is coming, but it is up to you how you can change it. The fourth class is the psychic destinies. Do you remember anybody what is the fourth class? It is the sleep. Yeah, it's a sleep. Other states, the doer is not the control of your four senses. You are not in control of your four senses. So you will be in the holistification or hypnosis or self-suggestion that you can give in that, right? So those things can happen. So how your life, so whatever that you are thinking also, sometimes it get affected. Your sleep, and you can gain those things. The fifth class is the death and the process of the death. So that anyway, you do not have any control. The sixth class is the states after the death. That is the judgment, the hell or heaven. Again, depends upon how much the time, whatever the human life that you have got in this life, how much you have utilized. Are you able to fulfill all the things that you said you wanted to fulfill in this life? Once you go back, if you look back your life, then you feel that, okay, I have done my life, I have fulfilled my purpose of life. Then once you feel it, then you feel that it's a heaven. Once you say that, oh my God, I just wasted the life, I did some more bad things, I did it, I got some more baggage instead of living, then that is nothing but the hell. So the hell or heaven, that's after the death. The psychic destiny of the fourth, fifth, and sixth are unavoidable. You cannot do anything. With these preliminary remarks, the psychic destiny as a basis, we can now proceed to the discussion of the form destiny and strictly the psychic. That is about the second topic that we gave. So how this form destiny will form in the psychic destiny, that we will see. So the next topic that we are going to see is the form destiny, or how the form destiny, how the prenatal influences will form on conception and fetal development. All these things we will see. Once the form destiny begins with the prenatal influences, the body in which he dwells and lasts through the life and beyond the death until the end of his heaven period. So once the prenatal destiny, so whatever that destiny begins, right? So once you have died, so that influence is there in your body, and it will dwell. The entire life it dwells, and it will pass through the hell or heaven period. So the race in which the body will belong will be determined by end of the previous life, because many times the Percival is saying, so your next life, the span of the life will be determined by the last minute, the last moment of the current life itself. So the current life itself, you will also decide like which race you are going to born. So what is the next race that also will be born. So then once you decide, the family in that race in which the body will be formed is selected to meet your requirements. So because you already have some requirements that how you wanted to born. So in order to meet that requirement, the doer's requirements, right? So then you will choose the family. So I wanted to born as an American, I wanted to born as an Asian, I wanted to born as something, some race you already decided. So when you decide on that particular thing, then you will choose that family. The doer portion, which is to re-exist, brings the influence and will affect the body during the formation and will provide through the family in such a tendency. So then it will take the family. We think that the family, because of that family, because we born such a family, then we got all the traits, we inherited some of the qualities. No, it is not the correct. So it is already decided by your previous birth. In order to get those things, you are choosing the family, the right family. Hardly ever in anyone in afterlife consciousness of the suffering incident to the formation of the body in its place is in the womb. He who does remember is one who understands his own shortcomings and his own duties and failings of his followers. Usually, we are not actually remembering. Once he comes, right, we are not remembering, but who sympathizes with the weakness of others and who endeavors to assist the difficulties of others. What they are saying is those who are actually remembering what are the shortcomings. So you know that there is shortcomings in your last life. That is the reason you wanted to take certain life, certain birth, and you wanted to continue. You wanted to experience that kind of life. Those people, there are some people who remembers, because not that your past life or anything, you remembers. For those people will be very compassionate. That's what he's saying. He sympathizes the weaknesses of others. He is compassionate about the others because he knew that he knew that he did something and he wanted to this life. He has made a strong impression that whatever that he wanted to do, particularly he made strong impressions on his last cell, and it came and it was reborn. So in that case, he will be able to sympathize others. He will be assisting the difficulties in others' life. So he will be very compassionate, humble, and sympathize with the others. The selection of the family and the time of the building of the body involves many problems, many things. Doer in the body, you cannot just select. Suppose, let us take, I wanted to be there. So these 1, 2, 3 people should be there in my next life to have the connection, and I want to serve the person one because I did something wrong. I wronged something wrong to that particular person one. So I wanted to serve this person. And number 2, I had a lot of grudge and I wanted to take the prejudice on that particular person. 3, I loved and I want to stay with them again. 4, I have, so like this, I have some certain people that I wanted to live in the next life also. So whenever I want to take, so the condition, not only taking the family, taking that, you should have all these people taking in the same kind of thing. Then only you will be able to understand it. So that's what you're saying. You have a lot of lot of things that you need to take care. The doer in the body must fit innumerable events in the lives that are the public matters. So you want to get born in a particular race, particular thing. If these 4 people are not born in that particular race, then how you can mingle with them, how you can come and touch with the in the course of life, right? Again, that time, condition, and place. These 3 things are important in order to meet the things. How these things can occur. So this much planning should be there whenever you are taking a birth. It is not just that, okay, I wanted to born in American, so choose some American family and born. Nothing like that. You have to have so many things that you have to take before you are actually taking that birth. The time of the beginning of the certain body must be selected so as to allow the cycles of its own life to interest cycles of the lives of the others whom you are connected. That's what your life cycles should be connected to the other life whom you are connected. I want to connect A, B, C, D persons. So those persons, when the time, place, and event should occur, when you will be able to meet them. So all those things also you have to plan when you are actually selecting a family. The conception is caused by the presence of the form of the breath form. So the conception, it's always through the breath form only it is happening, right? It binds the 2 germs of the body. That is the Two gems of the body of the woman, fusing the radiant matter in both the gems, and the center of which the universal force begins and building the new physical body. So the woman gem and the male gems, the both has to be together, and this universe has to work on building the new physical body. The radiant matter develops into the small astral, a radiant solid body which takes the impressions from the form. In the form, the astral body, in the form, already the previous strong impressions are already made. You are taking that astral body form, that impression, and you are making that astral body. The expansion of the radiant solid will cells causes the physical cells to divide and multiply until the potential form. Here in the embryo, the physical cell is forming and it is actually dividing and multiplying in order to grow in the embryo. And in the astral, you are taking that impressions and that growing in the astral body. So these two are getting together through the birth form, and then you are forming that actual physical, complete physical body with the form destiny embedded within this. The bonding is the union. The bonding is the union, that is the astral body and the physical body and the embryo and your form destiny all together is the forming. It is the one which is forming the physical body. Inaudible to the physical ears, the summons brings the elementals which are directly connected with the building. So these elementals in the astral body, whatever that is coming, you are not audible how it is doing and all those things, but they will come through the breath form. It will go. It's a plastic, elastic kind of thing. It will go and merge this physical body within the embryo. Hundreds of these gongs resound in the world. Hundreds of these things are happening. Each and every time, the hundreds of things are happening in this, and those are going. Those are happening in the astral world, and they are going and connecting with the embryos. Everything is happening. Only those built who are connected in certain way are elemental with the previous physical body of the owner of the new body. So previous physical body, when the summons comes to them, then they are the free in the elementals, and some are bound in the plants and some are in the animals. They must obey the summons. So when some summons, some order comes, right? So some order comes. So some of the things, they may be just going and staying in the plants. So some of the things which are already developed in the form destiny, right? So they may go and stay in the farm. The animals, they may go and stand in the plants also, because that is the order that came. Summons is the order. So that is the order they came. So that is what they're free to go at once. Those that are in the plants are set free. Those that are in the animal bodies are set free by natural death or the destruction of the animals, which they are. So whenever the plants are this thing, they are setting free. But when the human being comes, when you are in a human being, or when you are there, so because you are making a strong impressions, the plants, they're just doing their duties. As we said, the plants are just performing their duties. Animals, they kill other animals, but only when they feel hungry. They are not doing for any other things. When they are hungry because they need food, they may kill other animals. That is only for that sake of. So that was the thing that was given to the animal. So it is just doing for that particular case. So because it is not developing any kind of the strong impressions on their astral body, so they will be set free. Once they natural death, they will be set free. In this way, elementals which operate the human body will comes together in the physical atmosphere of the mother and passes to her body as a light, breath, water, and food. So all these things, it will go and then it will form. Gradually, they are built into the body of embryo. Those which are built before the placenta is developed during the amniotic period comes by osmosis. Those which make up the fetus after the placental development has begun are breathed by the mother from her atmosphere into lungs and enter into the bloodstream, pass through the umbilical cord and are built into the fetus. So those who form as a thing, so the hereditary or anything, they are in the fetus. Those who are forming in the outside, they are actually breathing with the lungs, breathing with the breath form. They are going and they are just going with the bloodstream. So through vital energy, whatever the breath we are taking, and that vital energy we are giving to everything, right? So along with that, this breath form which is developed australly will also go into that. This is this taking the breath form is a new corneal body and reassurance of the former body. It will take that reassurance or whatever the previous qualities, right? It will reassure. So the world is actually the personal God. Again, he is creating. The personal God is not the one which is coming. The God is there in everybody. The personal God, why we say is because some say Jesus is the God, some say Krishna is the God, Lord, some say Rama is the God, and some say somebody else. So that is why these personal gods are created by human thoughts. So you have created, because that supreme power is there within you, because you came from that supreme intelligence, you came from that supreme thing. You already have it, but when you are not believing, when you are seeing that you are just this body, you are just this thing, you are not understanding your supreme qualities within you, then you are depending on your personal God. Okay. The desires, the bond union of the male or a female or anything, right? So what here is one more point that he is saying, right? So this is a new point. You can see in the Thinking and Destiny book only, because whatever that we have learned from all other books, it's a different. But in this particular thing, so I'm just because to get more understanding, you may have to go before. But I'll just give you the page now. Section 3 we are actually. So section 3, you can see this one. So what they are saying, a part of the subject bearing psychic destiny at the time of birth is a new body. During the previous life, the doer has desires for prey, cruelty, squalor, or venom. These desires bond the union of male and female animals and are later embodied in the offspring. In this manner, human feelings and desires becoming pigs, cats, fish, and other animals. So that's what they are saying is, human feelings, your thoughts, whenever you are having this kind of thoughts, right, the strongest thoughts, so everything you may not able, so those thoughts will become life. They will become the life, and the offspring, you also producing the animals, those animals, that's what they say, pigs, cats, fish, and other animals. Cattle, sheep, deer, zebras, horses, and dogs are also produced with the human thoughts. But what they are saying those were produced with the better desires. So all the desires, whenever you are actually desiring something, you're feeling and desire, you are actually releasing so many thoughts, your feelings, your desires, so many thoughts when you are releasing. So all the feelings and desires may not wait until your next life. So those feelings and desires may become or may exteriorize as animals also. So the particles, whatever the thoughts particles, those particles will also come as animals. So I underlined here, I'll just 194 page. Out of 1080 pages, whoever is having in the 194 page, it is because it was totally a different concept, right? That's why if you want to read, I'm just giving you the context where it is exactly. The animals have no indwellers in the sense of doers in the human bodies, nor they have AIS. They do not have any AIS because they are not having any intelligence or anything. They are the feelings and desires of their bodies made up of our elementals. So because of the human feelings and desires, these animals were made. Some of the animals were made with this human feelings and desires. Some of these animals are formed during the lifetime of a man, and some maybe after the death as well. So with your feelings, you can also generating, you can also giving the birth, giving and manifesting these animals also in these things. When a call is sent out for the conception, these former desires in their animals grabs have to obey the call. So whenever you are actually that brutality that the thoughts are actually sending, right? So instead of these call, whenever these thoughts, these animals also can take, and they will obey the call, because those animals came out of your thoughts, out of your feelings. The animal bodies will just obey those thoughts, which strong impressions that came out of. And these animal bodies, which they are die, so that they have animal like feelings and desires present in order in which they needed the new human body that is being built. So some of these animals maybe because they are acting upon the human bodies and the human orders. So they may, when they die, they may again come back as with the new human body as well. These animal types are built into the radiant solid body and partly into the flesh body, flesh in the body. Our later life is the basis for their thoughts for those whose animal shapes were exteriorizations. So your thoughts again, which animal it will become. I want to produce a deer. So it depends on your thoughts. So these animal shapes will get exteriorized. So the cycles go on. So what he is saying depends on the circumstances. The cycles go on. The thoughts from human thoughts to the animal thoughts, the nature, and from animals to the human. So the cycle is going on from the man to the nature, and nature to the man is kept up. So it depends on the thoughts. You are taking the shapes of the animals and the destruction, and maybe again depends on the thoughts. You may be taking the nature of the man as well. So this cycle is going on. That's what he is saying. Malformations, defects, diseases, and disposition ailments which comes later in the life are built by the elementals from the impressions upon the breath form into the radiant solid body about the time they appear in the flesh. So whenever that appears, so when suddenly in between, because someone got the cancer, someone got some physical ailment that is not there in the birth, then why it come? So that is there in that particular seed. But the thing is, when the time the junction of all the three things, right? So when it comes, that is coming, that particular thing is coming, appearing in the flesh of the body. And these are the formations and the forms of the thoughts. These are again the formations or the forms of the thoughts of your former life. Former life is the repetition of some thought and sudden energy concreted and poured into the thought, given a mold. Though your thoughts are given a mold, and it came to the impression and the AA, and now it came as a form in the physical destiny in the current life. The thought is exhibited now, and the part of the body is connected with the center of the thought of that particular kind usually comes into the human system. So these are all the things. The physical body, if you take, that is the thing. The physical body, how it is getting prepared. How the physical body is getting prepared. The physical body is getting prepared with the 4 classes of the elements that we know, right? Earth, fire, water. What are the other things?
Ether.
Earth, water,
fire, ether.
Means air, water,
air is the one. The other one is air. Ether is there around the world, right? So air is the one. With these 4 elements, our body is actually forming. When the fire elementals are prevail, the man will be very agile, quick in his movements, very quick in his movements. Whenever your body is forming, right? So all the 4 elements may not be having that same kind of balancing or anything, right? So when the fire element prevail, the man will agile and will be very quick in his movements. When the air element prevails, he will be very graceful, a dancer, jumper, runner, so that kind of things, and pass on the heights without getting fear or anything. When the water elements prevails, he will be loved for the water, swimming, bathing, something like that. And earth element prevails, he will be heavy, very, very solid to the ground. He prefers the solid to the ground. These are the 4 classes of the elements which are combined in a different propositions. Not that every physical body is having equal propositions of these 4 things. They are the different propositions. They will be coming. So the lack, if you take the lack of these elements, if the lack of the certain things, suppose the fire element causes the lack of the fire causes the fear of fire. If in your body the lack of fire element is that the fear of the fire and inability to deal with the dangers, that any danger comes or sudden situation comes, you will not be able to deal with it. Or sometimes you may get burned, you may not able to do that. So if the lack of the fire element, these things can happen to you. The lack of the air element, you feel dizzy when you go heights. And looking into the deep, or walking into the deep down, right? Then you feel very dizzy. So that in that such a person can never become a good dancer or a swift runner, because you lack that air element. The lack of the water element becomes evident that you dislike water, and misgivings where the water can, you will have all the misconceptions when the water element is missing, right? You feel fearful when the water comes. Oh, I don't like water, I don't want to go to the water games, so I don't like swimming. This kind of thing will happen. But when the most important, when you, if you lack the earth element, then you that is, you always feel restless, you are not grounded, right? You always seek a change, you will not be at one place, you always go one place to another place, you will be restless. So that kind of things will happen. So this is how actually the physical body or physical things are happening with this, all these four elements. According to this, so he has given an example, right? So the fire element, the firemen, stokers, smelters, electricians, fighters are all the fire predominant people. Dancers, mountain climbers, aeronauts, adults, musicians, poets, and singers are the air element prevailed people. And water element prevailed people are sailors, fishermen, boatsmen, and are good cooks. Even good cooks are also the water prevailed persons. The earth prevailed persons makes the workers as a soil, mining, farming. So these people are the earth prevailed people. So these are the four temperaments that are due to the prevailing of the elemental of a particular class of a personal is making up. So how actually, if what element is dominating in you, how you will become. So there is nothing like, okay, one person is like fat, so because he's making heavy, because he's made up of like so much of earth element, okay, and one person cannot swim, means the lack of the water element is there, so he cannot swim. So when we understand that our body is made up of, or how our destiny was made up of, right? So what we will see, you'll not find them. You'll try to understand everybody. You will not find fault with others. Why that person is not able to do it? Why that person is thinking like that? So these things you will not be able to. Instead of finding a fault, you will try to understand the things. Why some of the people are very restless. So now you'll understand why they are actually the restless or anything, right? So these are the things. Worldly success or failure are also determined by the foundations in the embryo, the four classes of these elements only. So when you are going with whatever you are dominant, then you may get success. Suppose if you are not actually the element of predominant, but if you go for a dance or anything, you may not able to success. That's what he is saying. Here is saying. The breath form is making the previous thinking and thoughts which is coming, and the elements are giving you all these physical things. These being the human and these are all, once you understand these things, you will foresee and you will become humanity. In the humanity, right? You will be understanding the humanity better. That's what he is saying. Whenever you know all these things, you will understand humanity the better. There are then there are who do not so much danger to the others, but who have fallen below the stand. There are some of the people, right? They are not actually they are not harming anybody. Suppose a person who is a drunkard, what he can do? Nothing he can do. He is not harming, because he is harming himself. So he is not harming anyone here. But they drinking alcohol, excess, or drugs, all those people. So what they are saying is here, they are going below the standards of the humanity, below standards of humanity. Abnormal things, whoever is doing, right? So all these people are going below the things. These creatures have lost the right to born human shape and debarred from the lawful entrance to the normal copulation. So they will be debarred. So normally they are not entering again to the, so they have to wait, or they have to do the other things. Normal copulation, they are debarred to enter into the human life. So you want to evolve. If you want to evolve as a soul, you have to take the human life, because this is the life where you will get an opportunity to evolve. As a soul evolvement, the human life is the is a chance. That is why do not waste the life that you have got. We should not waste our life. We should evolve ourselves. That's what repeatedly in any form they are saying. Even Bhagavad Gita or anywhere, that's what you'll say. When you are given a chance, evolve. The soul should get evolved. You should understand. You should get that. The self-knowledge, the Atma-gnanam. So self-knowledge, you should get it and evolve. So if you are not doing any of the things, if you are going excessive drunkenness, excessive drugs, excessive these things, you may not harm anybody, but lawful entrance was debarred. So you are not, you cannot born because you are not given a chance again to born as a human being with the lawful entrance. So why they say the lawful entrance is again, there are ways again in with not the lawful entrance you can come, because lawful entrance is the one when the couple has the copulation or intercourse but in a proper way or in a proper manner, something like. So that is, suppose that they had that copulation with the drunkenness, the rape, something, all in the bad ways if you are doing, right? So in that case, that is not the lawful, right? So in that case, again, these forces, whatever the forces and the souls which were not allowed to come as a lawful entrance, they may come there in that period. Here is also given the unlawful entrance. The people, if you have the intercourse, like the copulation he is using, right word, which is nothing but intercourse. If you are in the drunken, or you during your menstruation, if you are having, so in that case, the things that are coming are this such kind of people who are actually debarred, right? Those people will try to enter this human life. So instead of starting the fourth session, I will stop here. We have completed 2 and 3 sections here. I'll stop and open up for the questions.
Wonderful, wonderful, Prasanna.
Is it okay? The speed is okay, right? I didn't cover much as I thought.
No, it was good. So it was interesting to know how the elements are affecting the individual, and it's good. So nice. So now when we see a dancer or when we see the person, so we know that
we know that air element is prevailing.
Yeah, we know the background of
when you see the fat person, you may say that, oh, earth element is prevailing, that's why they were like that. So you should not, you'll not judge the people, right? So that is also there.
Yeah, so the judgment will come down if we know these facts.
Yes.
True. Wonderful. So friends, please share your perspective. Feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hands. Hello.
I just wanted to say something. I have some sore throat.
Go ahead, Balagan.
It's when you mentioned that because of human thoughts, the animals are all born. So I'm just thinking, probably these are all the pets of those human beings. That is the reason also, he said in the next life, they may be born again as humans because of that attachment to that particular human individual, and also they get accustomed to the human environment, these animals, which we read in other books, the soul's journey.
Yes,
Peter
yes.
Richard.
Yeah, Peter Richard.
Yeah. So in that way it matches. It
matches. Yeah, this is what we that's why I said, like, because that sometimes it seems to be contradicting,
but this is how it fits into the theory.
Yeah.
Because people, they have horses and other animals as pets, and they have that attachment like a kid.
Yes.
So because of their thoughts, that happens. So, but it's nice, I think. Yeah. Because of
it's a new thing that we learned, right? That kind of things.
Yeah.
We never
Yeah.
expected that the thought, because of the thoughts, even that we are actually giving the form to the animals also.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, Peter Richel, he explained how, animals take the human form. But
Yeah,
here,
he explained in the second chapter.
but here,
itself,
because of human thoughts, how the animals are taking,
Yeah, that's what he also say that, right? It is an inter thing. It's the cycle kind of thing. It is going from there to here, here to there, like human to animals and animals to human.
Yes.
The cycle it is coming. So that completes whatever you are saying. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, he is also saying that whatever the quality of the design, the class of the designs, depends on that you will get this. Horses and all, he is saying the better quality of the designs. He mentioned that.
That is why, see, when they have that attachment like a kid, when they have pets, so they, especially, I know in this country, especially in Western countries, how they treat the animals, like.
Yeah.
And sometimes they make another animal with the they keep, in the sperm banks and all. That much attachment they have. And also they make, figures also similar to the pet. So what I'm saying is, because of all the thoughts, I think they may take the form.
Yes.
But it's nice the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for explaining. Summing up that explanation. Right?
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Somehow I thought, Peter Richel's.
Yes. Anyone else? Ramakrishna Garu, any thoughts?
Yes, Prasanna Madam. As usual, nobody seems to be questioning. So I just thought, let me put something. Me and Bala Madam are the only who keep invigorating the people, I think. The two questions, it's not exactly questions, but I just want to add one thing, Prasanna Madam. I think you said that there is a lack of one of the four elements in the nature units. To my belief or to my understanding, there are always four elements present in any nature matter. But however,
it's not lack, it's not lack. I said
it's imbalance.
Right. If it is absence, that's what I heard from you.
Not absence. It's not absence. It is not not the enough. It is always exist.
It's only a question of one is dominating than the other.
Yes, exactly. One is prevailing over the other. That's all. All elements are existing in all the human beings.
Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to add is that the humans are the worst type of nature units in the world, basically, because they have no control on their desires. Animals, in particular, because you were mentioning about the copulation and all that, I thought, let me raise this. Animals go by instinct. I don't know how many of the members understand Telugu. They called, Aya ma pashu yadakochindi. That is the terminology used by the villagers to say that a female is ready for copulation. So it is more by natural control than having desire at all the times. They only copulate when this instinct promotes them. That's really a good karma because they don't have unnecessary desires. Whereas humans, both male and female, have no such control. They desire sex all the time, anytime that they want. So it is sapamemon. Probably it's a curse on humanity that they can desire and they have no control on their own desires.
Yeah, I would disagree on this point because not every man or every female man is all the time is desiring that. So maybe there are people, what you said is, but I can't agree with all point. Whatever you say.
I agree with you in that, yes. But what I meant is that there is an instinct or the nature governs the desire in animals, whereas in humans, they control themselves.
Yeah, because a human being was given a great knowledge also. Along with that, the great thing is also there. Whereas AI unit is not there in any animal. only human being is having, but we are not understanding that we have that AIA point is also there within us. We have that, we know that knowledge, the self-knowledge is there. If you know that, we don't go all these things, because we are thinking that we are just this human body and it is only one life. We have to fulfill all our desires in this life. So whenever you are actually, you are in that ajnanam, right? So whenever you are in that state, then all these things coming up.
Yeah, you are, the quote again, Percival, as you said once before, you are conscious of your consciousness increases.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just want to bring it up.
Very good conclusion. Concluding quote for this class.
Yeah, but I would like to see other people also come. I don't know why it is limited only to 7 people now, and of which only you are the person who is delivering. And then one is just, Deepika madam is always there with you. That's not the issue. So 2 others are the only people who just procrastinate, me and Bala madam. And what is really happening? Why not? Is there a way that we can motivate others to come and talk, or make them read? Make them read, then you can interpret. So that some activity goes on rather than just staying there. We don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, I'm just commenting. Maybe it's probably offending others. I would, excuse me if it is. No comment. Okay.
No, because we don't know. Sirisha Garu and Deepika is trying all their level best to make the group interactive. And I am also giving next I'm going to teach like these 4 and 5 sections. I'm giving like a small pieces so that they can come read and come. No. And also we are giving a small, short notes so that they can read and come. So we are trying all our best, all our things, but we don't know what others are going through, right, sir? So that's the thing.
The way I look at it, we have to involve others. I mean, it's not motivation that's lacking. It is the involvement, I think. Can you make others read the same photographs by sharing your screen? They don't have to own a book. They don't have to look at the book. Just you can share your screen when you are opening your book on the screen. So ask one of the others to read so that they are involved in it. And I don't know really what's happening. I mean, there were at least 15 people before. Today I see only 7, out of which 4 are constant anyway. So the remaining are only 3. 4, 5 are